Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to read to you from Surah Al-Anfal. It's one of the first surah I ever memorized 20 years ago in Egypt. It means the spoils of war. And I recall when telling my teacher I wanted to do Surah Al-Anfal, she said, Why? Why did you choose Surah Al-Anfal? I said, I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to do it. And of course, she thought that was an unusual choice because I still hadn't finished Surah Al-Baqarah. Well, Allah has His ways, and I remember when I was memorizing this, how much I was impressed by the clarity of it. There's no doubt about what these words mean. So now is the time, because really everyone is fighting over who will get the spoils of war. Is it worth it? Well, only Allah knows. So let us begin. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسألونك عن الأنفال قل الأنفال لله ورسول فاتقوا الله وأصلحوا ذات بينكم وأطيعوا الله ورسوله إن كنتم مؤمنين إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم وإذا تليت عليهم آياته زادتهم إيمانا وعلى ربهم يتوكلون الذين يقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون أولئك هم المؤمنون حقا لهم درجات عند ربهم ومغفرة ورزق كريم كما أخرجك ربك من بيتك بالحق وإن فريقا من المؤمنين لكارهون يجادلونك في الحق بعدما تبين كأنما يساقون إلى الموت وهم ينظرون وإذ يعدكم الله إحدى طائفتين أنها لكم وتودون أن غير ذات شوكة تكون لكم ويريد الله أن يحق الحق بكلماته ويقطع دابر الكافرين ليحق الحق ويبطل الباطل ولو كره المجرمون. The last verse says that Allah is going to yuhiq al-haq, make the haq come true, bi kalimatihi, by His words. Meaning, if you're fighting and you have a strategy or you have some tactics and you want to win, I think you ought to check Allah's words first. Never mind all these envoys running back and forth. I digress. I'm going to read the translation. And I hope you will too, and try to follow along what this is meaning, because you know they ask you, O Prophet, regarding the spoils of war, say, their distribution is decided by Allah and His Messenger. So be mindful of Allah, settle your affairs, and obey Allah and His Messenger, if you are true believers. The true believers are only those whose hearts tremble at the remembrance of Allah, whose faith increases when His revelations are recited to them, and who put their trust in their Lord. They are those who establish prayer and donate from what we have provided for them. It is they who are the true believers. They will have elevated ranks, forgiveness, and an honorable provision from their Lord. Similarly, when your Lord brought you, O Prophet, out of your home for a just cause, a group of believers was totally against it. They disputed with you about the truth after it had been made clear, as if they were being driven to death with their eyes wide open. Remember, O believers, when Allah promised to give you the upper hand over either target, you wished to capture the unarmed party. But it was Allah's will to establish the truth by His words and uproot the disbelievers. To firmly establish the truth and wipe out falsehood, even to the dismay of the wicked. Now, I just want to preface here, I'm not prefacing actually, I deliberately didn't read this verse because when I used to read the Quran, I couldn't read tafsir because I didn't know how, I didn't even know what it was, but every time it says they ask you and then the translator puts, "O Prophet," that's not in the text of the Quran. So when they do this, they mean this is to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Rasulullah. Lakin, it is also to all of the fighters in Allah's cause. When you follow the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So just as I do not say the G word that these translators use, I don't use it. The reason I'm teaching you my methodology is it worked for me. So far, so good. So let's go on, and I'm going to read you the reason I'm reading you page by page is I feel it's very easy because it's so straightforward. It's regarding a battle that was fought, and I want you to do your own research because the Muslims won in the Battle of Badr, and then they lost in the Battle of Uhud. So these verses regarding battles, you should already know this, okay? I'll just give you one piece, and then you have to go and do your research. This chapter was revealed in Medina to explain how the spoils of war should be distributed following the believers' victory over the Meccan pagans at Badr in the year 624 Christian era, the year 2 Hijri era. Now, this chapter urges the believers to be true to Allah and His Messenger, reminding them of how they were outnumbered, but Allah sent down angels for their aid. It is made clear that although victory comes only from Allah, the believers should always be ready to defend themselves and be open for peace. The pagans are warned that their plots to hinder others from Allah's way and oppose the truth will only end in failure, a theme emphasized in both the previous and the following chapters. Yes, the following chapter will be Tawbah, and I'm going to do that one too. Getting these two surah, Al-Anfal, Tawbah, in the last 10 days of Ramadan, I feel it is such a privilege that I'm allowed to do. May Allah make it easy and make it easy for you to follow along, get a translated Quran. Doesn't really matter. They're both basically almost all the same, all using the G word. So, do what you have to do at the time. But soon you will move on to the words of Allah. His name doesn't start with a G. All right, we're going on to the next page of Surah Al-Anfal. In your Mus'haf, your correct Quran, it's page 178. إِذْ تَسْتَغِيثُونَ رَبَّكُمْ فَاسْتَجَابَ لَكُمْ أَنِّي مُمِّدُكُمْ بِأَلْفٍ مِّنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ مُرْدِفِينَ وَمَا جَعَلَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بُشْرَى وَلِتَطْمَئِنَّ بِهِ قُلُوبُكُمْ وَمَا النَّصْرُ إِلَّا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ إِذْ يغشيكم النواس أمنة منه وينزل عليكم من السماء ماء ليطهركم به ويذهب عنكم رجز الشيطان وليربط على قلوبكم ويثبت به الأقدام إذ يوحي ربك إلى الملائكة أني معكم فثبتوا الذين آمنوا سألقي في قلوب الذين كفروا الرعب فأضربوا فوق الأعناق وأضربوا منهم كل بنان ذلك بأنهم شاقوا الله ورسوله ومن يشاق الله ورسوله فإن الله شديد العقاب ذلكم فذوقوه وأن للكافرين عذاب النار يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا لقيتم الذين كفروا زحفا فلا تولوهم الأدبار ومن يوليهم يومئذ دبره إلا متحرفا لقتال أو متحيزا إلى فئة فقد باء بغضب من الله ومأواه جهنم وبئس المصير. This is a very important portion of this surah. Right now, what Allah is saying here, pay close attention to this translation, because although I know what it says, I want you to read it yourself so that you can review it. And I'll stop at the points that are the most pertinent. Remember, O believers, when Allah promised to give you the upper hand over either target and you wish to capture the unarmed party? But it was Allah's will to establish the truth by His words and uproot the disbelievers, and to firmly establish the truth and wipe out the falsehood, even to the dismay of the wicked. Actually, we should be on verse 9. Remember when you cried out to your Lord for help? And He answered, I will reinforce you with 1,000 angels, followed by many others. And Allah made this a sign of victory and reassurance to your hearts. Victory comes only from Allah, and Allah is surely almighty and all-wise. Remember when He caused drowsiness to overcome you, giving you serenity, and He sent down rain from the sky to purify you and free you from Satan's whispers, to strengthen your hearts and make your steps firm. Remember, O Prophet, when your Lord revealed to the angels, I am with you. So make the believers stand firm. I will cast horror into the hearts of the disbelievers, so strike their necks and strike their fingertips. This is because they defied Allah and His messenger. And whoever defies Allah and His messenger, then know that Allah is surely severe in punishment. That worldly punishment is yours, so taste it. Then the disbelievers will suffer the torment of fire. So, I don't see 15. Okay, so we have to have one more from the Quran, because I like to use this as my gauge. So we have one more. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا لقيتم الذين كفروا زحفا فلا تولوهم الأدبار ومن يوليهم يومئذ دبره إلا متحرفا لقتال أو متحيزا إلى فئة فقد باء بغضب من الله ومأواه جهنم وبئس المصير. Okay, so these two verses, 15 and 16, are the most pertinent that I want you to concentrate on now here. O believers, When you face the disbelievers in battle, never turn your backs to them. And whoever does so on such an occasion, unless it is a maneuver or to join their own troops, will earn the displeasure of Allah, and their home will be hell. What an evil destruction. What an evil destination. All right, so we're going to stop there because that is the end of page 178. So Allah is giving here a recommendation that you don't turn your backs when the disbelievers are coming to fight you, except, and then you have it here. Now he's saying here, and because these words in Arabic, they are a little bit difficult, إلى متحرفا للقتال أو متحيزا إلى فئة. Now I know what they mean, but I want to just show you here what they say, and you can go over all this. I want you to go over all this because this is what we're living in now. Should we fight? Yes, no. Who do we take our marching orders from? Well, is it the Egyptian army? Oh, is it Netan? Netan means disgusting and filthy. So that's his nickname that I've given him. You shouldn't give laqab. You shouldn't give وَلَا تَلْمِزُونَ بِالْأَلْقَابِ. You shouldn't give nicknames as a Muslim to each other. But I can give a nickname to the butcher. Let's go back and be civilized and calm down. Follow the Prophet Muhammad. They're always telling you how peaceful he was and kind and forgiving, merciful, even to his enemies. And I have to keep remembering that. And whoever does so on such an occasion, unless it is a maneuver or to join their own troops. So this is what they call military science. I can't tell you when you should join your troops or when you should fight on. And what did they used to say? To surge ahead, and they'd always put the infantry in front because they were the grunts and they were disposable, and then the officers would stand behind and watch. Not Prophet Muhammad. No, that's not how he did things. He didn't do things the way the modern armies do things. He did things as a true general, commander-in-chief. The Muslims fought shoulder to shoulder. Now I'm going to stop here because this is 17 minutes, and I'm going to make another of this Surah Al-Anfal. It's going to probably take 3 lessons, but you'll get them. Just give me a minute, and I'm going to renew this video so it will be in portions, okay? Because I don't want you to get bored, and I know you won't have all this patience to stay with me for an hour. I'm fasting. I have 1 more hour until I eat. I have patience for you though, because I love doing this. Assalamu alaikum.